look at celebrities in general. Now, this is not 100% accurate because celebrities, yeah, some of them they come from broken homes. They kiss the nanny goats for fame and fortune and success to be, part of the industry, Hollywood. Fine. Even Michael Jackson didn't have the most smoothest childhoods. As a matter of fact, Michael Jackson, ever since his childhood, he has experienced trauma. Trauma in the sense that like his childhood was stunted. Michael Jackson, he never had the opportunity to have a childhood because ever since he was young, as early as, forgive me if I'm not quite accurate, but let's just say from as early as age 5 or 7 or age 10, he okay, immediately was drafted by his parents into the music industry. So he was performing, he was experiencing pressure from his father, punishment, abuse, in the form of like, hey, perform, or you didn't sing that note properly, sing it again. Okay, now raise your voice dilation to this level passage. Okay, now do it again. You, Tito, Jerome, in the corner, you didn't sing properly. Play the tune again. If they're practicing on the on a violin or piano or something. Children are not supposed to experience that type of trauma at a young age because they're very emotionally vulnerable, they're very impressionable, so it kind of has like an effect somehow mentally. So Michael Jackson is a perfect example. He didn't have a chance to have a childhood first, to be a child, okay? To be gleeful and happy and free, like a young adolescent child should. Hence why, when Michael Jackson grew up, he became of age, he became an adult. He was experiencing issues maintaining or even getting into a relationship in general. Why? Because according to the woman that he tried dating, such as Elvis Presley's daughter, I forgot her name, um, a lot of women didn't take him seriously. Why? Because they said he was childish. Michael Jackson was childish. Michael Jackson had a very playful personality, like a child, and that rubbed women the wrong way. It's like, yeah, he's kind of childish, It's like not really acting like an adult, cracking jokes, being a little too playful. So that kind of like that arrested development. Yeah, exactly. Perfect example. Arrested development. Michael Jackson suffered from arrested development. Even though he was an adult, he was a 40-year-old man. He was very good at his craft. Moonwalking, you know, his dances, you know, his dances. He had amazing moves. His craft he was a phenom. He was phenomenal. He was a global sensation. All we knew of Michael Jackson was, on the big television screen, him performing, a musician, a pop king of pop. But with regards to his personal life, some say he was, weird. He created, Neverland, and he loved playing with children because he never had the chance to be a child. He never had a chance to be a young 7-year-old adolescent boy, even in his adult life. And I've watched the documentaries, the Michael Jackson documentaries, and there's parts of it that are fascinating with regards to him, how he became famous, you know. And a part of it is it's sad with regards to his personal life. You see, if I were to ever become rich and successful, ever to gain clout or whatever, the first thing I'll always be grateful to God for is my childhood. I had the perfect childhood growing up. I was raised in pitch perfect conditions. I had an opportunity to be to experience like an amazing childhood, which is why I turned out okay. Now you look at other celebrities like your Harvey Weinsteins or your other famous people. Something happened in their childhood, whether it was bullying in school, or they're raised by a single parent, by a single parent, or they experienced some form of trauma in their childhood, and now they're messed up. They just like their brain receptors of dopamine or their psyche is fried. All these people are messed up. Look at James Franco. A lot of these people, man, like on the big screen, you see them smiling, taking photos out on the red carpets, but from what you hear from the people who deal with them behind the scenes, they are controlling, they are abusive, they are narcissistic. You see, that's another thing. That's another common trait that you'll experience in Hollywood: narcissism. Look at Elon Musk. Such a small, fragile ego. Because why? Those people are accustomed to the world kissing their asses. And a little bit of adversity, it sets them off. Look at Elliot Rogers, that kid who once committed like a mass shooting. Why? Because he was being rejected by girls left, right, and center. Fragile egos. Your childhood, whatever happens in your childhood will pretty much follow you to your adult life. Pretty much the rest of your life. Look at Elliot Rogers. He was trying to, date girls. I mean, I'm pretty sure he had good intentions, but his self-esteem got so wrecked because he based his whole self-esteem on getting girls, the prettiest of girls. It's so sad when young people, they think that their life in school, primary school or high school, is the end all be all. That's what defines them, and they end up committing self deletion or deleting other people. Which is why you, you want your child to grow up in a healthy environment, to offer your child the best childhood as possible. Now, it's hard to have a good childhood. As a matter of fact, I've had some friends in the past, not all of them, but some. It's not just friends, but it's just people I've known either in school, former classmates, former friends, former associates, etc., etc. In high school, whatever. Some of their character flaws, it just oozes out of them. It's just some of them. It's just visible. Now, granted, all of us have character flaws in some shape or form, sure, but for some people, it just oozes out of them. It's visible. Like I said, this is why it's important to offer your child the best and most comfortable childhood possible. Now, it really comes as a blessing. I think my childhood was a blessing. It can't be manually replicated because you never know. Children are different. The neighborhood, the environment, you can't really control what happens to a kid, either at home or in school, and it can even be anything. Okay? So you can't offer your child the best childhood if you're gonna pick a spouse who comes from a broken home. Why? Because people are creatures of habit. You pick someone, whether you're a man or a woman, you pick a husband or wife, you pick a spouse, a fiance that comes from a broken background, a broken home, due to their economic status, their cultural norms, their values or beliefs. You come from someone who comes from a broken background, a broken home. They are gonna they're gonna repeat and teach and they're gonna teach that to your offspring. They're gonna spill that to your offspring, to your kids. And guess what? Those kids are gonna trickle it down to their kids, and those kids to their kids, and those kids to their kids.